Okay, in three. Hello, everybody. Hello. Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you're joining us from, you're all very much welcome to today's session. Hello. How is everybody doing today? You're all very much welcome. Uh, we are here back again to continue the Alumni Series. The Alumni Series is usually facilitated by members of the alumni community, meaning you have taken one or more courses with Hills and Tech. And if this is your first time joining us, you are very much welcome. We have these free webinars every month, and it is open to everybody. So thank you all for joining us. A little bit about Hills and Tech. Hills and Tech is a platform dedicated to closing the gender gap between women and technology. We offer several non-coding courses such as business analysis, data analytics, data governance, cybersecurity, project management, product management, and so many more courses. Recently, AI consultancy, AI animation. So there is a course for everybody, irrespective of your industry. A little bit about the founder, Bisola Alaibi, having started her career in tech 10 years ago and never touched a line of code, witnessed a gap between women and technology. She watched families lose their jobs to digitization and decided to do something about it in 2020. She set up a platform where women who have increasingly become breadwinners can acquire non coding technical skills and apply for high quality jobs in less than 2 months. The result has been phenomenal, and we are committed to doing so much more. We are fully online and have trained from over 25 countries. This has been made possible by the virtue of hands on training and quality of facilitators who ensure our students get value and also monitor them during interview sessions. Amazingly, we have trained students from various backgrounds, such as stay at home moms, undergraduates, lawyers, people who wish to immigrate, amongst others. By 2030, our aim is to have trained over 100 million African women through paid and free sessions such as this. Bisola Laibi is also an author. She authored Jasmine Discovers Tech Book for young girls in secondary school. Our students work in different industries, and here are just a few companies that you may be familiar with. And that brings us to today's session. And for today's session, while the session is going on, please leave your comments and your questions in the comment section. Our facilitator is eager and ready to answer as many questions as possible. So please be as interactive as possible. We appreciate you. So today's topic, how project managers can position themselves as consultants in the UK. It's not just for people in the UK, so don't worry. It's for everybody as long as you're interested. You're just getting started in project management. You are experienced in project management. You are very much welcome. You are going to learn a lot today. So a little bit about our facilitator for today, Mr. Oluyemi Olu-Adeniran, is a customer-centric digital product owner and product manager with years of experience leading cross-functional teams to build industry-standard digital solutions. He has successfully delivered B2B and B2C products across multiple industries, bridging the gap between business stakeholders, users, and development teams to ensure every solution is built with purpose and precision. Passionate about enhancing the customer experience through technology, Oluyemi brings a data-driven approach to product thinking, from identifying complex problems to driving consistent product growth. His work spans digital transformation, process improvement, and cloud-driven innovation. He joins us to share his expertise and help you think like a product manager, whether you're just starting or looking to level up. So without further ado, join me as I introduce our facilitator for today, Mr. Oluyemi Olu-Adeniran. You are very much welcome. Hello, hello, hello. Can you
Thank
hear
you,
me? Can you
Beatrice.
see?
Yeah, thank you, Beatrice. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'm happy to be here today.
Thank you so much for agreeing to join us today and sharing your extreme knowledge with us today. Thank you. So I will be handing over to you now, or I'll be here throughout the session with you.
Okay, thank you very much, Beatrice. And I hope we have a great time today. So I've been asked to run us through a topic, and I'll be sharing my screen in a minute. Please just pardon me. Let me share my screen. Um, can you confirm you can see my screen, please?
Yes, your screen is visible.
Right. Thank you very much. So, apologies. I may not be able to see anybody while I'm presenting, while I'm talking. Beatrice is going to be looking into the chat. If you've got any questions while I discuss or while I talk, please put in the chat. And if that's read to me, I will be able to answer that. Today, I've been given a topic for me to discuss, which is how project managers can position themselves as consultants in the UK. Again, my name is Oluyemi Olu-Adeniran, and if you want to reach out to me, that's my email there. You can reach out to me. So we're looking at the strategic position, how project managers can position themselves as consultants in the UK. Now, the brief discussion I'm going to have in today is not only going to be based on UK. We're also going to be looking at other regions as well. Because it's a transferable skill. You can actually be trained as a project manager, as a tech person, and you can go to other regions and exhibit that skill that you have. So it's not only I'm not going to be focusing on UK alone. I'm going to be touching on other regions like Nigeria, like Canada, like the US, and the rest. So quickly about myself, I think Beatrice has done good justice to reading about myself. Just a brief summary: I'm a product management professional. I've worked in different domains, from real estate to agri-tech to automotive to edtech, to cable industry, different kind of industry. So I have different knowledge from this domain. I currently work as a product owner. I also found an academic called the Career Builders Academy. I've got experience in project management, product management, business analysis, Scrum Mastery, as just name a few. My experience cut across industries in the UK and in Nigeria, and I transitioned from business focused role into project delivery roles like business analysis, like project management or being project managers, and also product manager. I've led, like Beatrice said, I've led different data product initiative from initiation to launch, from conceptualization to launch. I've got a few certifications, to name a few: PSPO, that's the professional Scrum Product Owner certification. I've got the PSM as well. That's the professional Scrum Master certification, and also this CBAB. I've got more, certifications as well. I can't just be listing everything on this slide. My hobbies, I like watching, playing football, watching and playing basketball. I love playing snookers as well, Scrabble, e-games. Sometimes I read. No, I'm not a fan of, getting a book to read every time, but sometimes I pick up books to just read. So that's just a brief description about myself. So career growth in this field that we're looking at today will boil around three major things. Number one, understanding a need. So I always tell my students, I always tell everybody I want to talk to, that if there is no need, there is no project. So there has to be a need before there is a project. If you start a project today, either as a project manager, as a business analyst, a product manager, you start a product and there is no need for that product to be started, that means that product is not viable. So for you to be successful as a project manager, as a product manager, or as any of these roles within the tech industry, whatever you are doing has to be driven by a business and user needs. So that's the business. That's the business. Again, another point there is you need to be able to translate those needs into structured solution. So people are not just communicating their problems to you. You can imagine a doctor that a patient actually goes to say, "Oh, I've got a problem. I've got a need. My need is this. I've got headache." The doctor is able to structure a solution to give to that patient and say, "Go on with it. Go and use it." And let's see how the solution is going to work for you. So for every need that you understand from a user, what makes you successful as a project manager or as a product manager is you being able to translate those user needs into structured solution. And you don't just jump in from define the problems or the needs to solution. There are so many things that you need to do. Part of what you need to do will be we are analyzing what the need is, we are analyzing what the problem is, and we are doing some other analysis. So it is going to be the research that you do throughout your analysis or the data that you gather during your analysis that are going to inform your structured solution. So it is very critical that before you jump into any solution, you do proper analysis, ask questions, and understand what the need actually is. Then the third point I have there is you delivering measurable outcome. So by the time you're defining the problem, you know the objectives, you define measurable objectives so that at the end of the project, when you finish the project, you can bring those measurable objectives on and say, "Oh, have we actually, succeeded on this project?" We said before we start this project, by the end of this project, we want to be able to achieve this percentage of this thing. We want the speed of our system to be this and that. We want, to have converted a particular number of people on our products. Those are objectives that you define before the start of the project. So those are measurable objectives. Those are the things that you bring back at the end of your project to say, "Oh, let's measure what we have actually done in the course of this project." So those three things are critical and key, if you want to be successful as a project manager or a product owner. My task today, let's talk about what I'm here to do. The purpose of this session is for me to give you clarity and practical direction on what project product management actually means. For the people that are thinking of transitioning into, project management or product management, I'll just give you a brief description of, what a project management or product management is, and I'll give a bit of distinction between the two. And the next thing for me to do here is who are this career path? Who are they for? Who is suitable for this career path? I mean, a lot of people are thinking, "Oh, it's only people that can write codes. It's only people that can actually do this. That's who that can actually go into tech." I'm going to be telling you a story about myself today by the time we get there. Now, how long is it realistic to take to actually get started? A lot of people can say, "Oh, okay, I can actually get through it in 4 weeks and start applying for jobs." But is that the reality? So we're going to be exposing ourselves to what is the reality to exposing yourself to becoming a project manager or a project consultant or a product manager. And again, we're going to be looking at the key differences between a project manager and consultant, opportunities that you have across different regions like UK, Canada, US, and Nigeria. Again, we're going to be also talking about what are the practical steps you can take. I'm going to be exposing you to how do I get there? What are the steps I need to take to actually actualize my dream or my goal of becoming a project consultant, a project manager, or a product manager? Then how to position yourself. How do you position yourself, especially in the focus area of this session, which is the UK market? How do you position yourself? What are the things that makes you, well positioned for employers or for business to get across to you to say, "Oh yeah, we need your service. We know you can solve this problem for us. Can you please come and get that done for us?" So we're going to be exposing ourselves to all of these areas today in the little time I've got. The key focus is for me to simplify this concept, is to remove confusion around, how do I enter? How do I enter into this? Do I need to be a technical person before I can actually be a project manager or before I can be a product manager? And again, we're going to be providing a structured path, a very structured path for those considering to go into project management, product management, or project consultancy. Let's move on quickly. So briefly, what is project management and looking at product management? Now, project management is delivery focused. So somebody gives you a task to say, deliver this. And you take that task and you deliver it. So you're being given a particular task to say, get this done. And again, you're not just given a particular task, you're given a particular scope. What we mean by scope is, the boundary of what you need to do. You've been asked to produce Fanta as a soft drink. Produce Fanta. That's the scope. Nobody's asking you to go and produce Coca-Cola. If you go produce a Coca-Cola, that's out of scope. So for every task in project management, for every task that's given to you is based on scope and is boundaried. I mean, you have boundary around that scope to say, we are not moving out of the scope. We are defining the scope. And this is the time for us to also deliver this project and on this particular budget. So project management is driven by a scope of work that needs to be carried out within a particular time that task needs to be done and for a given budget. And I don't want to start delving into different methodologies that you can actually use to carry out project management. There are different methodologies. I'll mention just two. You can use waterfall methodology. You can use agile methodology. What waterfall methodology means is, is a method that allows you to create a strict boundary, a very strict boundary around your scope. Meaning that, please, give me the requirement in a structured way. Give me the need. Give me the problem in a structured way. Give me what we need to do in a structured way before I start. Communicate with me what I need to do before I start. That's waterfall. I mean, don't give me half story. Give me the full story. Because by the time I start this project, I'm not going to come back to you, or you're not going to come back to me to say something has changed. Let's build a scope of what we need to do. That's what waterfall methodology is doing. Give me a structured requirement, and I will take that requirement from when you are giving me the concept. I will take it through the phases of project management or project delivery, and I will come back and launch your solution to you. Don't come to me in the case of developing that project in those phases. Don't come that anything has changed. That is why I'm asking you, give me a very structured, requirements. So waterfall is saying, I want to be disciplined on this project. I want to be very disciplined. I don't want anybody to come and change anything, because I know if you come around and change my scope of work, it's going to affect my timeline. You have asked me to deliver this project by June, but because you are changing the scope of work that I'm doing, that is going to extend to August. I'm not ready to actually extend the timeline for this project. And by the time you expand the scope of work as well, it's going to affect your budgets. The budget that's been given before is £1,000. Because you have expanded the scope of the work, the budget is going to grow from £1,000 to like £2,000, for instance. So project management waterfall methodology is saying, give me a strict, structured requirement. Then when you talk about agile methodology, in project management as well, you can actually, use agile methodology. That's the methodology that allows you to say, okay, give me the requirement. I don't need the full story. Give me an idea. As we go on in developing the product, we'll learn more. That is why you have your iPhones. iPhone did not become perfect the day it was discussed. The requirement was not fully discussed at the start of the launch or the manufacturing of iPhone. You had iPhone 5 that had a very little feature, a very very minimal feature. And the requirement was not fully discussed. Then, if iPhone 5 was released to you, the customer, the product team comes back to you and say, "Oh, what else do we need to do?" You improve on it. So what Agile is saying is, give me an idea. Let me give you something that is valuable. I understand that it might not be the perfect thing that you want, but let me give you what is valuable to you. Let me just give you what is valuable to you. Then we can increment on what I give to you. You can imagine, I tell someone here and I said, I have, mobility issue. I need to go to my farm, for instance, every time. but I have mobility issue. In your head, when you're actually, when you have adopted agile methodology, you're thinking, yes, the full requirement is producing or manufacturing a car for Oluyemi. But what can we do? What can we do as a minimal value that we can deliver to him very fast? That's how Agile is thinking. And Agile is thinking, before we create a car or manufacture a car or develop a car, it's going to take us 10 years. What can we deliver in 1 year? Can we deliver a bicycle to him? We understand that the bicycle may not be the actual full requirement, but we are incrementally, we would start incrementally developing the first product that we launch until we get to that strategic solution. So Agile is saying, I know a scope has been built. I'm happy to adapt to change. I know a scope has been built. Even if it's affecting my timeline, I can go back to the stakeholders or to the customers or whoever has asked us for that requirement to discuss a change in timeline. I can put a change request in. Oh, I know, scope hasn't changed. My budget must have changed. I can go back to the stakeholders and discuss, oh, there's a change in budget. So those are the two methodologies that I can actually use in both project management or product management. Then you have temporary, project management is temporary in nature. You can have, you want to launch a book. Launching a book is temporary event. You do it and finish it. It's not an incremental thing. It's not something that you continuously do. You want to hold the wedding. You hold that wedding. It's a project. It's finished. It's a temporary endeavor. It's a temporary, job that you need to do. It's not something that you have to incrementally improve. So project management is temporary in nature. And again, example of that is you want to implement a system, you want to launch a product and all of that. Then when you come to product management, continuous value driven. And that is why Agile is most perfect for product management, because it talks about let's continuously add value to our customer. It focuses on solving user problems instead of giving somebody a task. You're saying, delivery focus, I'm giving you a task to go and do. No, it focuses on I'm discussing with the customer what the customer wants. Everything I'm doing is going to be user-centric. Everything I'm doing is going to be customer-centric. Everything I'm doing is solving a problem. It focuses on solving user problem. It is iterative and long-term. Long-term, you can imagine how long iPhones have been released, and it will continuously be released because it's long-term. It's product management. Is iterative. The last iteration they did was your iPhone 7 Pro Max. By October or November now, they will come back and say, we have another product, which is iPhone 18. That's another iteration. So it's iterative. Iterative means it is continual. It is continuous. It's repetitive. We do it repetitively to improve the product. So it's iterative and long-term. Example of that is mobile applications. You have mobile applications today. Look at Facebook. Facebook is usable, very usable for people now. Instagram is very usable for people now. Can you imagine when Instagram was launched? It didn't have all the features that it has today, but it's been iteratively incremented, over the years. And that's how you will see software product. It's not a temporary project. It's not temporary in nature. It is continuous in nature. That's product management. Then what's the key difference? Project management is temporary in nature, like you said. Project management is continuous improvement. Please, like I said, keep your questions coming if you have any questions. So let's look at who is this for? Who can actually become a project manager or a product manager or a project consultant? It's suitable for whoever that can communicate effectively. Maybe the reason why you find me in this field is because I like talking. So think about yourself. Can I communicate effectively? Do I know how to put my words? Do I know how to? Communication is not only verbal. It can be through different other means. It can be through writing. It can be through putting numbers together. It can be through observation and all of that. Can I communicate effectively? Check yourself. Before you make that decision to say, I want to become a project manager, a project consultant, or a product manager, can I communicate effectively? And if you cannot communicate effectively, do you need to go and take a course to actually develop your soft skill in communication? A lot of people are taking up these roles and say, I want to become project managers or project management. And by the time they get to class, they get frustrated because they made decisions based on what their friends have told them, or because people have said, oh, there are thousands of pounds or thousands of naira or dollars they can actually get in this project. But they didn't do a personality test on themselves to say, okay, can I communicate effectively? Can I think logically and analytically? Don't forget I said, when that problem is communicated to you, that user tells you the need. You can remember the doctor example I gave you. When that patient go to the doctor, it tells the doctor, I've got headache. And the doctor is going to logically analyze what she's going through. The doctor is going to be asking her, when last did you sleep? Did you eat this morning? All of that. All of those questions is logically analyzing what the problem is so that the doctor can profile the best solution that can actually address the need. That is also what project managers do. That's what product managers do. They logically think, they analyze before they make decisions. And logical thinking and analytical thinking is not only based on your intuition, it's based on research, it's based on data. So before you make that informed decision, you are looking at what you think against what you researched and what data is saying. So think logically, analytically. Now, are you organized and structured? Look at yourself. Are you organized and structured? Yes, if you are, you might be the best, a very perfect fit for becoming a project manager or a product manager. Can elaborate with different stakeholders. I mean, you can have different stakeholders. There are stakeholders that not even hear English at all. What I'm speaking to you now, they don't understand, but they know numbers. They know charts. They can read pie charts. They can read bar charts. They can read numbers. They can read pictures. Can I collaborate with different stakeholders with their communication, preferences? Can I collaborate with them? Can I collaborate with different stakeholders based on their differences in their region? Differences in their region. I've got stakeholders in India. What time am I supposed to communicate with him? I'm in Nigeria. I'm going to be working for a client in the US. You know the time that the US guys are going to be waking up. You know the time to communicate, to collaborate with them. So collaboration is not only you making presentations to them, also understanding their preference, their behaviors. So are you that person that can understand people and can collaborate well with stakeholders? You may be a good fit to becoming a project manager or a product manager. Now, common backgrounds. Let me tell you one quick story about myself. My first degree is in biology. So I know some of you may be on this call today. Maybe you did biology like I did, or you even did language like other people you actually did. Maybe you did administration, customer service, banking, finance. You are even a teacher. There's nothing stopping you if a biologist that was just looking at biology while I was an undergraduate can actually be working, with giving strategic directions and solutions today. You also can do it. You also can do it. So don't let your profession, don't let your background limit you. Don't be scared to say, oh, I don't know anything. It starts with a step. And I'm going to be showing the step that you can take. So teaching, engineering, graduates, clarification. Let me put some clarifications here. Technical coding skill are not required. So what I mean by technical coding skill are required is you're not writing code. You can be technical. The technicality of a project manager or a product manager is different from a technicality of a developer. You are not a developer. You'll be working collaboratively with all these developers and every other persons. You do not code as project managers or product. If you have that skill, it's an added skill to you. You would be, you will be given direction strategically. You'll be overseeing product development. You'll be overseeing project development. You would have collaboration and you will make your team self-organized. So look at your background, keep you away from wanting to take a step to say, I want to be a project manager, a project consultant, or a product manager. Now, how long does it take? A lot of people will say, oh, I can actually get trained in 8 weeks. And knowing the fundamentals, I'm ready to start applying for jobs. We've actually seen a lot of people that say, oh, I've actually get trained, I've paid a huge sum of money to get trained. I think I'm ready now. I can dust my CV and start applying. Now, getting the fundamentals is not enough. Nobody is going to hire you or bring you into the business because of the theory that you know. Nobody is even going to hire you because of you have certifications. People will hire you because you have the fundamentals, you know the practical application, and in addition, you have certifications. I've worked in places before that, program managers, project managers do not even have certifications, but they know the practical application. I've worked in places as well that people have certifications, but they do not have practical application. What recruiters are looking for is not only the fundamentals. So if you can dedicate 1 to 3 months, 8 to 12 weeks to say, oh, I want to get the knowledge. I want to get knowledge. And I'm saying the next 3 to 4 months, I'm putting what I've gained in class into practical application. Then you put it, you were so diligent about it, and you were so, into it to say, okay, I'm putting myself into this. I'm consistent on this. And I'm going to be getting what I've learned in the last 2-3 months as the fundamentals into practical application. You can then say, after 6 months, after 9 months, you can say, oh, I'm job ready. You also need to appraise yourself and do, an assessment test on yourself to gauge what you know so that you know what you need to start applying for. So give and take, when you start looking into learning the theory, getting the practical out, you should be job ready by 9 months or 6 months. So that is how long it takes. That is my recommendation of how long it takes. Now, you see what I said there? I said what I recommend. Now, progress depends on your structured learning. I mean, your learning must be structured. When they say to you that class is so time, you have to be there. When you say, oh, you missed a class, there are recordings of those classes, go back to those recordings, go and listen to it. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to say, okay, I've got a question. In my classes, I tell my students, please and please, don't, because some other people understand what I'm saying. If you do not understand, raise your hand and ask the question. We'll wait for you. Everybody needs to be carried along. At the end of the class, everybody needs to be sorted. So it has to be a structured learning. And like I said, you do practical, you have practical exposures, volunteer on different, projects. There are projects that you can volunteer on and say, okay, I want to put into practice what I've learned, theoretically. And, you can put yourself on project volunteering and get experience. We call it work experience. You get the work experience so that when you are applying for jobs and you get a job interview and the interviewer asks you, talk me through a time when you have done this and that, you can make reference back to the work experience, that practical session that you have. I can say, at this time, I did this and I did this and I did this. This is what I faced and I faced and I faced. If you do not do practical exposure, I just base your theoretical fundamental knowledge to go into interviews. By the time they ask you, scenario-based questions, you'll be making up stories that don't make sense. Then the last one there, you have to be consistent. Right. Let's look at project managers versus consultants. Project managers, they execute defined plans. We have defined it. Is a structured requirement. They have given us a structured scope. We take that scope, then we execute it. What we've been given, what we've been communicated to, what has been communicated to us, that's what we are actually taking to execution. We ensure delivery within constraints. Within constraint, we ensure delivery within constraint. We operate with an organization. That's what project managers do. Consultants, in the other way around, they take it a bit further. And businesses are not just looking for project managers again. They're actually looking for project managers that can think as consultants, because they are not only delivering plans, they are identifying problems. They are not just saying, give me something to go and work on. No, they are defining the problems and saying, this is what is right to work on. That's the difference between you saying you're a project manager and you don't have that consultancy knowledge. So the consultancy knowledge will give you an edge to say, I want to know what the problem is. I want to deep dive, get the root cause of the problem, not just giving, go here and I'm going there, do this and I'm doing that. I want to ask questions. I want to provide strategic recommendations. I want to be able to be part of solutionizing. I want to be able to be part of, defining what the strategic recommendation will be. I want to work across organizations. I'm not just going to be fixated on an organization. I'm going to work across organizations because they know my value. They can actually bring me in and say, let's consult you on this problem. Come and give us a solution. So you don't just start as a project consultant. It's a ladder. It's a ladder. You take, you can go from a project managerial role to becoming a project consultant. So, and again, when I started my own career, maybe this question will come later. When I started my own career, I didn't start as a project manager. I didn't start as a project consultant. I started years back as a project support. Then I became a project coordinator. Then I became a scrum master. Then I became a business analyst. Then I became a product owner. So it's been that for me. So it's one level to the other. I know some of us are looking up to, oh, I want to become a project manager. Nobody's saying you cannot become a project manager, but it will be faster if you can get it. Nobody's saying you cannot become a project consultant or product manager, but it will be faster if you can take roles that can help you transition easily into your desired role. Look at me. I didn't start from product manager role or product ownership role. I started from project support and I built myself up. And the knowledge I'm sharing with you now is the knowledge I've gained through the years. Now, key distinctions. Project managers deliver solutions. Consultants define and shape the right thing. All right, let's look at global opportunities. In the UK, as project managers, if you want to get, a project manager, you can earn as much as £45,000 to £75,000 in the UK. What you just need is take that step that I told you within 9 months. If you're so consistent, you may be ready to start applying for jobs. So you can get a role of 45k to 75k pound in the UK. As a matter of fact, if you are a consultant and you have a contract role, you can get as much as £700 per day. Multiply £700 times 5, that's a week. That's 3,500 in a week. That's 7,000 in 2 weeks. That's 14k in 1 month. As consultants with a contract role, you can get as much as £14,000. Yes, tax may come in, R35 may come in and all of that. They may take maybe half of it for tax and all of that, but you're earning. Then in Canada, you have, you can get as much as 70,000 to 110 plus Canadian dollar. In US, you can get as much as 90k to 140 and you can grow, and your salary is going to be, growing like that. And you can say, oh, I'm not working for this business again because the business is paying me 110. I can actually go get another job that's going to be paying me 140 somewhere else. Yeah. So in US, you can get 90k to 140k dollar. And in Nigeria, you can earn as much as 3 million to 15 million annually. Remote roles can exceed local compensations. Those roles are globally transferable with strong demand. I mentioned that earlier, that what you learn in Nigeria, what you learn in the UK, you can locate back to Canada or locate to US and use that same skill. And the certifications you have as well is globally accepted. You have CBAP, it's globally accepted. As a BA, you have BCS, it's globally accepted. As a Scrum Master, you have either PSM or CSM, it's globally accepted. So these skills, these certifications as well, the rules are globally transferable with strong demand, Okay. What are the steps that you need to take? I'm going to finish in the next 3 minutes. Now, what are the steps that you need to take? Number one, like I said, do a self-assessment on yourself. Do I have problem-solving ability? Am I organized? Do I have good communication? Can I collaborate? Identify your strength. Am I a structured person? I want to say, I'm being given a plan and I'm following that plan. Or am I a strategic person that looks at define the solution? I'm not just going to be given what to do. I'm going to be looking at being part of defining what to do. So you need to identify your strength. Am I somebody that somebody can just tell, Oluyemi, get that done? And I say, oh, okay, that's good. I can get it done. Or am I someone that can say, okay, let's sit down together and think about it. What can be the solution? Let's be strategic about what we're thinking. You might want to go into product management with that strategic thinking, or if you have a structured ability, you might want to go to project management or project consultancy. Now, the third one is structured learning. Learn fundamentals. Don't just learn the fundamentals, apply the practical scenarios, build practical experience. Now, I said the principle of this is clarity before action will improve your outputs. It will improve your outcome. You get clarity before you take action. A lot of people are going into these courses now because, oh, my friend told me project management, I can actually do it. Oh, I'm tired because they're not giving me COS. I'm tired because this. I'm not saying people should not get what they deserve, but I'm saying that get clarity before you take that action. Because if you don't get clarity, you might be paying huge sum of amount of money and you're not getting the value that you have paid for. So get clarity, seek clarity before taking actions, because a cleared way will lead you to a perfect outcome. All right. Now let's summarize how project managers can position themselves as consultants in the UK. Basically, number one, understand the markets, high demands for contracts. Professionals, there are so many high demands. A lot of people are looking for consultants. They're looking for contract roles. They think a lot of business think it's going to save them a lot of money, as they can actually ask, them to do anything and all of that. So they think it can save them a lot of money. So there are businesses that are looking for consultants all around, contract roles, contract professionals. Focuses on outcome, not just delivery. They focus on outcome. They think strategically. They sit down with the business to actually define the problem. Preference for specialists. They see them as specialists. Then shift in role positioning. So you need to move from just performing the task to you diagnosing what the problem is. So you need to move from the project management thinking to a project consultancy thinking. Strategic advisory, you're advising because you already know the problem. That means you recommend a solution. Stakeholders influence, you collaborate with stakeholders. So these are things that can actually position you, as a consultant in the UK. You develop a specialization. Which way do you want to go? Don't be a jack of all trades. Don't say, I used to have somebody that will tell you she wants to be a Scrum Master. At the same time, she wants to be a product owner. She wants to be a business analyst. No. Pick a niche. Pick somewhere. Do you want to go into digital transformation? Do you want to be an agile delivery manager? Do you want to be a process optimization architect? Do you want to be a product manager? Do you want to be a project manager? You can't be everywhere. You can't be everywhere. You can learn, you can have the knowledge of most of them by the time you grow in the field, but as a starter, you just have to focus on a particular specialization. Now, adopt value-based positioning, focus on outcome, please, demonstrate impact. There's nobody that wants to employ you if you're not adding value to that business. Don't forget they are either paying you a huge sum of millions of naira or a huge thousands of pounds or dollars. They want you to be able to demonstrate impact. Demonstrate that you're adding value to the business. Move beyond time-based thinking. Then the next one, gain consultancy exposure, contract roles. Again, freelance engagement. Volunteer. Say, I'm here. Please, I want to gain experience. Internal advisory roles. Take in that business that you're working for, volunteer to take a role, even if it's not product management, if it's not software, if it's not product, if it's not project. Volunteer. If they need somebody there, volunteer. It's okay. Let me put my expertise into this. Learn and come and exhibit it there. Internal advisory roles. Build visibility. So many of you, maybe you have LinkedIn, but LinkedIn gives you visibility. That's where recruiters can actually see you. So, okay, let's look at this profile of this person. A lot of people have gotten job through recruiters reaching to them through LinkedIn. You set up your profile, and it's easy to set up a profile. That specialization that you have chosen, just look for people on LinkedIn that have got that specialization. Read through their profile, read through what they have done. Use that insight to build your own profile. Put a picture, a nice picture there. Put a backdrop picture there that's professional. Again, optimize your LinkedIn. Share insights. Don't just optimize it. Once in a while, drop some message, share some insight. Let people see you that, okay, this person is talking about this thing. Oh, it makes sense. Let's reach out to her. Let's reach out to him. engage in industry discussions. There are times when you go on LinkedIn and see some surveys that will come up. Oh, if you're this, what will happen? You also answer those surveys. You have a post on LinkedIn that's talking about the industry that you have, and it makes sense to you. Go to that comment, say it. I'm happy to read this. This is actually insightful. Those comments gives you visibility. Don't just comment on Instagram post or Facebook post or TikTok post. As a professional, go on LinkedIn and make yourself visible as well. Consulting, my last word for that is consulting is a progression built on experience. So like I said, you cannot just jump into consulting. You have to build that experience. So depending on where you want to start from, please start from where it is easy, where it is actually easy for you to get into it. And when you're getting into it, you can then move gradually to becoming what you actually aim for. You might think it to take 2 years or 3 years to do, but it's worth it. You will gain that experience. The experience I've gained from being a project support to where I am now is what I'm using in my current role, is what I'm sharing with you now. So it pays. So consulting is a progression built on experience, positioning, and strategic thinking. I think I'll leave it there today. Thank you very much for your time. Let me engage. Let me entertain some questions. Thank you.
Yes, please. Thank you so much, Oluyemi. We really appreciate that. Just looking through the comment section, I can see one. Thank you for the session, sir. I have a question. How do I pick a niche when I'm not sure of what to pick? How do I make this decision?
Yeah, thank you very much. That's a very good question. To the person that asked that question, please do an assessment test on yourself. Do an assessment test. I've read a lot of things here. Are you somebody that can actually? Okay, let me give you an idea. Now, the person that asked the question, look at an event. And that event, Oluyemi wants to have an event, maybe a book launch, for instance, or maybe a birthday, for instance. And I cannot do it myself. I am the customer here. I need an event planner. The event planner is going to come to me and say, give me this event project. I'm going to run with it. Give me the vision of this particular event. I will run with it. And I will hand over the vision of that event to her or him. Run with it. And it will ask me on the eye level, what do you need? And I'll say, I need so thing. And she's going to tell me, I'm going to ask 2 members of my team to come and meet with you on Tuesday, to come and ask you what you actually need. And on Tuesday, she's going to send 2 people to me, who is the customer, and the 2 people will come and ask me what I need. I'll get some feedback. From somewhere. All right. So how many people are coming? What do I want? A hall, or I want tents? What's the color that I want people to wear? What food do I want to eat? Those people that are asking the questions, people that can do that. Look at yourself. Are you that kind of person that love asking questions? You might be a very good business analyst. Are you that person that is that event planner that went to the customer first to go and ask, oh, okay, give me the vision? You might be a very good project manager, product manager, or a product owner. You are owning the vision. The people that have gone to go and ask questions, are you that kind of person that's inquisitive to ask about people's need, what people are feeling? You might be a very good business analyst. And when the guys that have gone to me to ask questions are coming back with everything I've told them, they will now come and say, oh, they will document them and say, this is what Oluyemi has communicated to us that he wants on this project. They will now start saying, oh, we need a baker, we need a caterer, we need we need a decorator and all of that. All of those people that they need are the developers. Those are the people that would develop the solutions for the event solutions to be a success. Are you somebody that wants to be at the back? You're not being seen. Nobody is seeing somebody that's cooking in the kitchen. But what you see is the food. You might be a developer. Just developing. So you need to do an assessment on yourself. Are you somebody that in that event that want to be the MC, that want to make people laugh, that want to actually make sure that everybody eats and say, oh, food has not gotten there, or can somebody please take food there? Okay, that wants to help people remove blockers, remove impediments and all that. You might be a good scrum master. So what you need to do is to do an assessment, a personality test on yourself, and say, what is my person? Who am I? What can I do? That would then inform what area you need to go. Defining your niche. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yes, please. Thank you so much for answering that. There's another question by the same person. That's Be Intentional. Also, how do I structure my CV to fit both a 9 to 5 experience and consulting experience?
Okay, so CV structure is very. If you don't have a guide, if you don't have someone that can guide you to structure your CV, it might be a bit difficult. So you might need somebody to sit down with you, someone that has done in the past that can actually help you structure it. Again, you can use, the support of AI. The current CV that you have, you can put on AI and say, okay, can you please refine this CV for me? These are the roles I've done in the past, and tailor that to what you want to do now. Let's say, for instance, you want to be a business analyst and you want to tailor your CV, with all the past experience you've had as well, working as a banker, for instance, or working as a customer service representative in a bank. You've also worked as a sales representative, in another company. You now want to tailor all those roles to sound like, what you did there, and not even sound like that, because some of the things that you did in those roles were actually analysis. Because before you can profile as a customer service representative, before you can profile a solution to addressing a customer's need, you need to analyze the problem. So you have actually been working as a business analyst in the past that you don't know. So you can actually give your current CV and the roles that you've done, what you have actually done, and say, oh, please, can you do this and structure my previous role to sound of an analyst? Yeah, you can use an AI to do that, or you can sit with a coach that can help you do it. If you want to do it yourself, it might be difficult. It might be difficult because you may not, as a starter, you may not know how to, structure it the way you need to do it. You might need a coach to sit down with you and guide you on what you need to do. Or, you don't have to use maybe one AI, use different AIs, use Copilot, use ChatGPT and all of that, compare things together, move things together. But before you start sending those CVs out to employers, get it, how to somebody that you trust, that is ahead of you professionally, and say, please, can you please look at the CV and review it for me, and let them refine it and give you feedback, refine it more and more and more and more and more. And please don't use the same CV to apply for jobs, because these jobs have got different job descriptions. Yeah, there are jobs that will tell you they want to be able to do this. There are jobs that will tell you they don't even care about you doing that. So what I would say is, please, you can use AI to refine your CV. You can also sit down with a coach. If you use an AI to refine your CV, please, before you start sending that out to employers, get a coach or get someone that is ahead of you that can look at it for you and give you feedback for you to refine it to the finest state. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Be intentional. I hope that answers your question. We have a lot of thank yous in the comment section. And another question from Amos Panwa says, Sir, for those of us who are just getting started in project management, where would you recommend we search for volunteer roles so we can build experience and grow in the field?
Okay, good question. Is that, for you that are just starting, there are different projects everywhere. As a matter of fact, I'm sure your Tech has got projects. They can say, oh, okay, I want to volunteer in Tech project. There are other projects as well. There are different other projects everywhere. You can ask questions. You can reach out to Tech, reach out to anybody that you know and say, oh, can I volunteer on the project? I'm ready not to be paid. As a matter of fact, I'll be paying for the tools I'll be using. Those tools I'll be using, I'll be paying for those tools. Yeah. And, just want to gain experience for the next 4 months. Want to gain experience for the next 3 months. I'm happy to join. And if you are joining, please be consistent. Please be consistent, because that person that's giving you the opportunity to jump on the project will not want to mess up the project. The morale, the commitment that you bring to that project can affect other people you're working with. If you're not going to be consistent, other people will be looking at you. It may discourage them as well. So if anybody is given an opportunity to jump on a project to gain work experience and is asking you to pay for your tools, is worth it. Look around. In that organization that you belong to as well, there may be roles that are needed, that they are looking to fix. And you're going to say, okay, can I volunteer? Can I take up this role? I've just got trained as a project manager. I'm happy for my salary not to be, to increase, but I'm happy to volunteer on this role for the next 2 months so that we can see if I can fit in into the role. Make statement like that. No, people will want to give you opportunities, but when you're being given opportunities, make sure you exhibit exactly what you have learned, and it comes from what you have learned. If you're not in class, when you're being taught, there is nothing to exhibit. So it starts from you being in class, listening, asking questions, and understanding. That is what you will use to actually, do your practical exploration when you volunteer on that project. So look around. Search Google, volunteer roles. Where can I volunteer, as a project manager? Where can I volunteer as a scrum master, as a business analyst, and all that? There are different thousands of projects that are going on simultaneously that people are looking for volunteers.
Okay, thank you so much for answering that. We'll just run through just a few more questions because our time is fast spent. You mentioned the UK market. What does consulting landscape actually look like for PMs right now? In terms of, are there any specific industries or sectors where the demand is highest, and where should someone be focusing their energy?
All right. So, yeah, that's a good question. I think before now, we used to think everybody in tech or everybody as a prayer consultant or a prayer manager or product manager is software. Everything has to be software. No. I mean, project development has gone beyond just focusing on software, not just building software. As a matter of fact, building constructions, I've got project managers, project consultants. Insurance, I've got project manager, project consultant. Agri-tech. So it's not only software development. They can actually come in as a project manager, or project consultant. You can be a successful project manager in other areas as well. Every business is now adopting the mindset of either waterfall methodology, agile methodology, or the combination of the two. I forgot to mention this. Now, some businesses are combining these two methodologies together. Don't forget, I described what waterfall methodology is to you earlier, and agile methodology. But some people say, oh, we don't want to use an entire waterfall methodology. We don't want to use the entirety of agile methodology. We see things that are useful in waterfall. We see things that are useful in agile. We want to use the two methodologies combined together. Then and then they now call it Wagile. So there are businesses that also adopt Wagile methodology. So it is not only software. So I wouldn't say that it is more in one domain or in one business than the other. Opportunities are there everywhere. You can be employed in insurance. You can be employed in security. You can, like I said, I've worked in different domains. I've worked in cable industry. Nobody's going to think, oh, what's a product manager or a product owner or a project manager is going to be doing in cable manufacturing. What you're going to be thinking is, oh, cable manufacturing is just manufacturing cable. I've never manufactured cable in my life, but I've worked as a product owner in that field. So what I'm trying to say to you is, every field I've got these opportunities. It is just you that needs to look out. And again, that you function in a field does not mean that you have to make that field. That's the only field I can work on. Oh, I've functioned in automotive. You cannot imagine when I was working automotive or the automotive company, and I say, no, I don't want to do another work. Oh, it has to be automotive. No, that skill is transferable. That which you did in that domain can be exhibited in another domain. What you just need to do is when you transfer to another domain, you will be given a time to learn that new domain. You'll be given a time to learn that new domain. So if you are going from from automotive, for instance, to cable, you don't know anything about cable before. The business is going to give you about 12 weeks to 4 months to 5 months to learn the new domain and the product. It may be more than that if the product is complex. So don't just be fixated to, oh, it's just sales that I'm a project manager for and have to pursue sales. That product manager skill that you have can be exhibited in different other domains. I don't know if I've answered your question. So there is no particular domain that say, oh, this is much. There are opportunities across board.
Okay, yes, it really does. Thank you so much. Another question. Let's talk about rates. As a consultant, how do product managers figure out what to charge, and how do they have that conversation with clients without underselling themselves?
So I'm always careful about talking about salary or rates, but I'll talk about it because one thing I don't want you to have is I'm going into this role because I want to get money. I want to have the mindset of I'm going to this role because I love it. I have passion for it. By the time you have passion for it, I know it, I have passion for it, and I love it. In that interview, even if you have not gotten to the proper interview, you just have a phone call, maybe a 10 minutes, 30 minutes phone call. By the time that in that initial call, by the time the employer is discussing with you, they're already thinking in their mind what you're worth. So if they have a budget between 300 and 700 pounds per day, for instance, by the time they start talking to you in 30 minutes, they will know if they can offer you the baseline, which is 300, or they can increase to 400, or you are worth that 700. So by the time they now offer you, sometimes employers will ask you as well that what is your daily rate? What is your daily rate? Why they're asking that is they want you to mention a figure, and if you say, oh, my daily rate is 500, maybe their budget is between 500 and 900. You already said 500. They will not even negotiate up again. They will know, okay, 500, that's fine. We're happy to give you. So what I do when an employer asks me what is my rate is I push it back to them that what is the company offering. I push it back to them and tell, please, can you tell me what the company is offering? If it's going to be a contract role or a permanent role, I would ask them, please tell me what the company is offering. They will tell you, oh, the company is happy to offer, 45,000 per annum and all of that. I say, oh, no, I won't take 45,000, considering my commuting 2 times to work or, relocating to the place of where the work is. I won't take less than 55. So we can then start negotiating. What if we do 50? Okay, I'll take 50 and all of that. But, it is what I've seen in my experience is pushing it back to them. Okay, can you please tell me do you have an idea of what the business is happy to offer? And if it's daily rate as well, you can also do that. They'll tell you, oh, the business is happy to offer 350, 400 per day, 500 per day. Can they do 600 and all of that? So you can have that discussion and all of that. But if they ask you, oh, what's your daily rate? I just say, oh, it's 400. If their budget is more than that, they'll just take that 400. They wouldn't take it up. They won't tell you that, okay, we'll give you 450. No, they will just stay there. I don't know if I answer your question. So in my own case, it may be working for me. It may not work for you. It may be working for me, pushing it back to them to say, okay, do you have an idea of what the business is ready to offer? And they will tell you. Then you can then start your negotiation. Does that make sense?
Yes, please. So basically, you should always try to negotiate and not just say a flat out rate at first. Yes, thank you so much for that. We'll round off in the next 1 to 2 minutes. Are you open to answering one more question?
Yeah, go on, please.
Okay. For someone listening today, either based in the UK or looking to break into the market, what would you say is the biggest mistake project managers make when trying to position themselves as consultants?
Thank you very much. I've mentioned one of it. Number one is money. People look at money. I want to go and get money in that role. There's more to money. What you need to have is passion, knowledge, and love for what you want to do. If you have those three, money is going to come. But if based on money, you may lack the knowledge. You may lack the passion and the love. So if you base your interest in those three, money is going to fall in. Number two, I think I put something else where, and again, people tend to assume they know and they don't know. We'll go and by the time I get that job, we'll go and rough it me. We'll go and just be doing it. We'll be doing it the way, we'll be learning on the job. Like we said, learn the fundamentals. Put the work into practice. Don't assume that you know. If you don't know, raise your hand and say, I don't know. Let people teach you. Ask questions. Get a mentor that when you get that job and you have problem, you can run to that mentor. So don't assume that you know. Again, after training, and like I said, training is not enough. People make mistakes to say, I'm now trained. I don't need to do any other thing. I'm going to start, applying for jobs. A lot of the students I've seen in the past, after they finish training, they just say, I'm tired. Some of them will even go back to the goods they are selling, the shops that they have, and we just forget that 3 months of training. This is for them to volunteer and get practical knowledge. And even if they don't want to apply for jobs, they can get that practical knowledge and use it in their businesses. But because they've learned theory, we think we are there and we're just moving on. So 3 things is, as much as I want to think of money, I want to think of passion, love, and the knowledge. Number 2, don't assume you know. If you don't know, there's no problem in you not knowing. There is no problem in you not knowing a thing. Anytime I get to my classes, the first question I ask my students is, any question for me? Because I want to provide knowledge to what you need to know. And number 3, fundamentals is not enough. You need to get practical knowledge and exposure. If you don't make those mistakes, you're on a good track to landing a job and be successful in your role. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Oluyemi. We truly appreciate you taking the time to share your knowledge with us. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us for today's session. Please look out. You're free to rewatch the session as it is recorded. And if you have any more questions, you can just leave them in the WhatsApp community and we'll be sure to answer them. Thank you so much, everybody. It was a pleasure having you here today, and we'll see you in the next Alumni Series session. Goodbye, everybody. Bye.